Alright, so in this video we're going to be covering drawing out and adding in the coaches area for women's lacrosse. So these dashed lines here, and then running. This looks like it runs equal with these lines here on the field, and then we can see that it's 5 yards from these lines here, or 10 yards. 4 meters from this line to this line is what it says right here, and I'm assuming this little dash in the middle is 2 meters. So with that, I think we have everything we need to add that in. So what we can do is go to the field here. Now yours might look like this for now. Go to filter, WLAX, and I'm assuming it's going to be added to the east side of the fields. So what we'll do is we'll tap on the lacrosse field. We'll go into the edit menu. Then within the edit menu, you've got this main folder here. Tap the little arrow and go to add element. Now if it doesn't say geometry right here, you can tap this little arrow here and then tap geometry. Then find where it says rectangle, and you can select this image right here, and it just drops a rectangle out here in the middle. So first thing we got to do is scale it. And looking at this image here, I think it would be easiest to start by building this line here and these 2 lines, and then after we build that, we'll add in the rest here, this little section with little dots. So to start, what we want to do is we want to scale this rectangle here. So up at the top it says scale already. Go down to the bottom. We're going to go 4 meters wide, which is going to be 4.37 yards. Make sure you change feet to 0 and inches to 0. And then we want to scale it to be 40 yards tall. Notice the anchor point is the bottom left here, so it scales away from the anchor point. The bottom line stays the same, and then the left line also is the anchor point. So if we were to change the width, it would go away from the left line or shrink back towards the left line. And it's kind of out of whack right now. It needs to be moved. So if we tap move here at the top, and then we use these arrows to just keep tapping till we hug the left or the right sideline here. There it is, right on top of it. That's perfect. And then we can tap the bottom arrow here to line it up with these lines on the playing field. So 1 yard needs to be changed to 1 inch so that we can really dial it in. Tap this arrow just a bunch of times until it's lined up. There it is. And then one more thing that we want to do is move it that 4 meters off of the sideline. So change the value here again to 4.37 yards, which is equal to 4 meters. And we'll tap that right there 1 time. Takes it 4 meters off. And now that this is scaled to where we want it to be, we can tap save. And we can see the added element that we put in here is a rectangle. We can go to actions and rename it. We'll call it sideline area. And then we want to make it dashed. So highlight the folder here, go to style where it says pattern, and then you can see the little dashed lines here. So now we want to extend this left sideline to be the whole length of the field, kind of like this image here. So we want this line to be all the way through. So if we open up where it says sideline area, you open up this folder here, tap the little arrow, and then where it says left, you can see it highlights it green. The left side of the box, we can go to more, arrange, and then we can scale it to be the length of the field. So we want to change where it says dimensions. We want to go to height. Right now it's set to 40. We're going to go to 120. Notice the anchor point stays the same and it extends out this way. So now we just have to go to move, and then we have to move it back down either 1 yard at a time, or you can just change the value to 40. And tap this arrow one time. So there it is. That looks good. We'll save it. And we don't need this line here. So we can highlight where it says right, go to actions, and remove. Alright, we're almost there. Now we just need to add in this middle section. So these little dashed lines here, which extend out. And then there's that 2 meter line running down the middle. And it's 5 and 5, so it's 10 yards total. So the easiest thing to do here is within this folder that we added, we can go open up that sideline area folder. We can go to add element, and we can add in another rectangle. So highlight or just tap rectangle and tap this image right here. And there it is, it puts it right there. So we just need to scale it one more time. Make sure you set feet to 0, inches to 0. And we know it's going to be 4.73 or 37, which is 4 meters. And then we also know the height is going to be 10 yards. So we need to change feet to 0, inches to 0 with 10 yards. And centering it, right now it's not perfectly centered, even though it kind of looks like it is. We need to go to move at the top. And then the easiest thing to do is to just hug this bottom edge right here. So we'll go 1 yard at a time. Come back over. There it is. It's right on top of that left sideline. Now we just need to change from 1 yard to 1 inch. And tap this bottom arrow until it's lined up. There it is. Now we know we're lined up here. We can change the value back to, we'll just go 5 yards. So 5, 10, 15. Now we're right in the middle, right where we need to be. We just need to make this a dashed line and remove and edit a couple of them. So we'll tap save. Where it says rectangle, this is another added element within the added element. We can go to style and tap there. If you want, you can go to actions and rename it. You don't really need to do that if you don't want to. Then we will open up this rectangle folder by tapping the little arrow. Where it says right, we don't need that line, so we can say actions and remove. Another thing is this left line here can be moved that 2 meters to split the middle. So if we highlight the left line, we'll go to more, arrange, and then move here at the top. And we need to move it 2 meters, which I believe is 2.18 yards. So we'll change the value here to 2.18, and then we'll tap this arrow one time, and there it moves it right to the middle. The last thing we need to do is extend the top line to match the length of these lines here. So if we highlight where it says top, more, arrange, then where it says width, we can change it to be, let's say, 8 meters. And 8 meters is going to be 8.74. So we'll change feet to 0, inches to 0, go to keyboard, and select 8.74. You can see how it extends all the way out there. And then we'll just do the same thing for the bottom line. Highlight bottom, go to more, arrange. It's already on scale. Where it says width, we just need to change feet to 0, inches to 0. Tap keyboard for yards and go 8 point, what was that, 17 or 71? 74. Now this might be like a small bug, but when we change it to 8.74, it kind of kicks it off that anchoring point and shifts it to the right. So to fix it, we can just go to move and tap this left arrow one time to move it 1 yard back to the sideline. Then we can tap save, save it again, and we have our sideline area for the women's lacrosse. Now it doesn't quite look exactly the same as this. I don't know, it doesn't give me the measurements from here to here, but I do know from the middle of the field is 5 yards and 5 yards, making this first section 10 yards. And this is what it looks like in real life.